Hey guys, long intro there. I just dug out my old rack setup here. Actually, it's not that old. It's just 2 or 3 years ago that I kind of put a lot of my all the rack stuff together. I had been laying around, and I have quite a few of the the Yamaha Spx 90s. I think I have 4 of those. Then I have one SPX 50, and I have two SPX 900. And most of them I have recapped, but yeah. So, but all of them are working pretty well at the moment, and there's one in here as well. So actually, I just hooked it up because I've been wanting to for some time, and I thought I just would want to show you that setup. Right now I'm just plugging straight into the rack. That means there's no overdrive effects or any kind of drive or crunch or anything. It's just a clean sound, but I have all that wetness that I like to play and use in stereo. And this is my GNL telly. This is one of the good ones from Japan. No, it's on the front. Yeah, I love this. I bought this way back in 2004, I think, brand new, just before they changed the away from the Japanese fabric. And it has some humbuckers in here. I can tell you about those in another video, but this is a really nice one. It has my favorite neck humbucker for jazz stuff, which is the Seymour Duncan Seth Lover. Okay, so from top to bottom here, in the top, I think this shot is good enough and recorded in 4K, so you should be able to see the details. I don't really have time to do a lot of fancy editing on these kind of videos, so I'll just try to make them work just shooting on the phone. This is a very simple Behringer EQ 15 band, and I go straight into that. Right now it's just the right side, so the left side is completely unused right now. Yeah, and it has a very kind of a small smiley curve, as you can see, and this is my preamp. You know, a preamp mostly in a guitar amp is just a little bit of EQing, and then if you maybe a little bit of crunchy overdrive thing, depending on what kind of amp you like. But for me, I'm a typically just I'm a classic vintage Fender kind of guy. Twin reverbs or something, and these Yamaha actually have almost identical preamps as a twin reverb in here. It's just solid state instead of tubes. So it's basically just a 3-band EQ, you know, and it's set a little bit. So you can do that with an EQ if you know what you're doing and if you have the ears to. You know, I've been mixing and mastering stuff in my home studio for 15 years, and I, in all modesty, I think I'm pretty good at it. Yeah, so I'm very, very used to pin out exactly which frequencies, how they sound, and what frequencies I like on a guitar tone and stuff like that. So the next thing, oh, and also I boost that's another thing with the preamp. They often boost the signal a lot to go into the power section, and I do that here as well. 15 dB boost. Then I have this funky Digitech old rack thing, DHP 55 from the 90s. I got this in a trade a handful of years ago, and right now it's just bypassed, and I rarely use it. But I can show you what it sounds like. That I have a patch called string pad dialed in, and when I unmute the bypass or deactivate the bypass, you get this crazy pad. So yeah, I think that's kind of a funky 90s sounding atmospheric pad thing. I haven't used it for anything in a band or recording or anything. I've used so much other gear, but not this one. But this is in the rack, so it can do a lot of other stuff as well, but I don't really need it. I have all the other effects I need in the other units. Yeah, anyway, so here is a Samsung stereo compressor. I just use it. We are still in the mono section. Also the string pad also just connected in mono, because I have this huge stereo spread in this in the Yamaha Spx, and the Spx only has a mono input. So anyway, just a little compression here. It's very, very subtle. There's a little bit on the hard attacks. And I like that, just a touch of it. If I exaggerate it a little bit. Well, now it's dampened a little bit more. And you get this kind of a little bit muffled. I also like a little bit of heavy use of compression in some cases, but not here. On a Fender Strat, I think compression is probably the most important effect of all. Okay, so now the Yamaha Spx 90, and I use this the same patch as my Stern, the patch 23. It's called Pitch Change C, and it's a stereo detuner, and the balance is 70%, quite high. I find that 65 to 70% is the perfect stereo spread of glory. And I think it's quite similar what Mike uses. There is one difference in how I set it compared to Mike. Mike used it as the patch is, with plus minus 8 cents of detune. I lower that to plus minus 7 cents. I think that's more balanced to my ear. The plus minus 8 cents is okay too, but it's just on the verge of sounding like quite a lot out of tune if you have a closer listen. So I think the plus minus 7 cents is for me the perfect balance. It's not too bland, popish. If you lower it to plus minus 4 or 5, you get a very it has no edge to the sound. Okay, so the next one is Lexicon it's a Lexicon 2-engine or 2-processor effects unit. It's called the MX200. It sounds pretty good. I've had this for quite a few, I think 8 years or something. I actually have one more that I use in a smaller rack system together with the Yamaha thing also. And this one, right now they are both set to a stereo ping pong delay with similar times, not identical because that wouldn't make any sense, but a little bit to get just a bunch of stereo spread on it. Let's hear. Yeah, it's on right now actually. So I have two stereo delays here, and underneath I have this strange Zoom rack, which is also it has all the usual effects, but only one engine. So this is also set as a stereo delay. So right now I have 3 stereo delays on at the same time, and there's more because underneath I have this G sharp from TC Electronics, and this is also has time-based effects. It has 2 engines, one for reverb and one for delays and choruses and stuff like that. I use the stereo ping pong delay on this as well, which means I have 4 stereo delays on here, and then the reverb from the TC Electronic. Actually, sometimes I use the reverb from the the Lexicon maybe instead, or I've been using this stuff in different ways for many years. Maybe the reverb on the Lexicon is a little bit nicer than the TC Electronic, but it's pretty close. And lastly, I have a 400 watt power amp, a cheap one from Torman, a Harley Benton. It's pretty cheap and it sounds pretty good. I have two of these, one in this rack and one in the smaller rack. And when I connect it, and this is the this is the crazy part. You may think that this rack is connected to my Yamaha combos, but it isn't. It's connected to these 4x12 cabinets, and I have four of those cabinets. So that means 16 by 12 speakers. So there's 16 speakers, 12-inch speakers. Like 8 on this side, and then I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there are two more. So it's pretty huge sounding wherever you go. But the thing is, I bought these crazy big cabinets when I played in a strange kind of a party band where we played a lot of 80s hits and like rock, pop rock hits from the 80s and 70s also. And when we had a lot of a big van with all the equipment, so I never had to carry my equipment. So I used to work for many years in a guitar shop here in Denmark, and I bought, I got a good deal with my friend, the owner, on 4 cabinets of this size, and then I took them to this party band, and then I could live out my Jimi Hendrix dream of having, because they are of course meant to be stacked. These two of the cabinets have slanted fronts and all that, so 2 big, almost like a Marshall stack going on. Of course, now I don't think I think I can have one of these in my car and that's it. And I would never take these anywhere playing. I would just use combos. Yeah. So, but I have these, and I thought about selling them for many years, but I like them both as a stand for my stuff, and now I haven't connected them for almost 2 years, or at least 1.5 years until now, with this rack system that I made for it. So yeah, this is a long video, sorry. But yeah, I made this rack thing for all these speakers. And okay, so and this whole thing of using multiple stereo delays is, for those of you who know, is of course taken from Alan Holdsworth and his idea of he didn't most of the time, if not all the time, he didn't use reverb. He just used cascaded stereo delays. Was it like 6 or 8? Completely nuts. But then he could kind of, do a whole kind of background pad stuff instead of a reverb, then kind of created with so many delays subtly. And there are some benefits there's something about it that sounds a little bit different, and for some things a lot better than using reverb. So, but whatever you like. So actually most of the time, if I just play my so I just use one delay, and actually in a mono delay usually. Let me see if it isn't. No, this is a stereo delay right now. Oh yeah, I need to go up to this. Yeah, this is my mono delay setting. It's just keeping the and I've used stereo delay ping pong style for a handful of years now, and I just actually just today I sat down and kind of just messed with the mono delay, and there is something about the mono delay that that doesn't get. It's like the guitar's tone or signal retains a little bit more in your face thing than having, because that rhythmic thing veils it a little bit, the impact of the note. And for some things I like that broad thing, but yeah, so I think actually I kind of enjoy the mono delay with this sound because I have this broad stereo detune. So I like the mono delay with this kind of sound because the air that it gives is kind of centered around the tone of the guitar. When you do a stereo delay, it's like you still have the tone of the guitar coming from the center and then spread out with my stereo detune. But the delay, the air you get from the stereo delay, it's no longer coming from it doesn't blend with the middle, with the tone of your guitar. It's out here. So you have kind of the tone of the guitar coming from the middle, and these are out here. So that can be a really great thing, and I prefer that for whenever I record anything other than this kind of Mike Stern sound. I think. Anyway, so just the mono delay. And then I have a little bit of reverb. If I turn down the delay, you can hear the. It's like a medium-sized hall or something. Medium to long. And it sounds pretty decent. And that's the G sharp here. And without. Whoa, that got close. So just the mono delay. That's actually what Mike Stern does. That's just it. He doesn't use reverb on his setup. Maybe they add a little bit in the studio and stuff, but not in his setup. No reverb. And that's kind of. But right now I'm sitting in a very dry room, and that's just really, really a kind of a dry sound, and the delay signal is kind of disturbing a little bit. It needs to be washed out a little bit with something. it sounds pretty good, but I definitely prefer it with just a little bit of reverb in there. Yeah, and this G sharp doesn't have any display, so I have to kind of just hear it again. Yeah, it's really sounding good here where I'm sitting. So that's just a mono delay and a stereo reverb. And then the reason for all the extra, if I turn on these, it's for a kind of a more of a Alan Holdsworth kind of clean tone. And I normally go to the bridge pickup or kind of the second position in this one. And that can work, but if you add this delay, you can hear all the extra. And one more. Now they start to kind of get washed into each other. This irregular kind of rhythmic thing, which is really nice, I think. And then I can add one more stereo delay here. It's a pretty decent sounding phone, this one, so I think you should be able to hear the stereo effect. Goes back and forth, but still there is a mono delay in here which keeps it, melts it together with the signal in the middle. So now with this awesome sounding kind of pad kind of thing, now I'm actually on the bridge pickup now. try the second position here. Excuse me. Yeah, so that's it. That's the rack system. This Harley Benton power amp, which is just digital. Yeah, you can get a long way with solid state and digital amplification with two things: compression and EQ. That way, I've been doing that for years and years to simulate tubes a little bit, and I'm very happy with it. And it's very low noise, this setup. It's just and then I can just put a tuner pedal or drive pedal or something in front of this. But of course, this is just meant to stay here. It's way too heavy to take it anywhere. Well, of course, I can take this heavy rack thing with me and plug into other cabinets that aren't quite as big as these ones. But yeah, but this power amp, you know, it's barely turned up. It's called the 400 watts, and of course you can bridge it for 400 watt mono, and right now I use it in stereo. Then it's two times 200 watts. But if I remember correctly, I'm a bit unsure, but I think that's when you put these cabinets are 8 ohm cabinets. So when you when you connect two of those, you connect 8 ohm cabinets, and that's what this stuff is rated for. Then you get 2 times 200 watts, which is a lot, you know. But when you connect 4 cabinets the way I do, of course this is just in parallel, so the impedance goes to 4 ohms, and this unit, this power amp can take it can take down to 4 ohms, like kind of a lot of equipment, solid state equipment. So it can take 4 ohms, and when you put in, when you connect the speakers with 4 ohms impedance, you get double the wattage. So if I remember correctly, and I think I do, right now I have a stereo 400 watt setup, like 2 times 400 watts. That's why I can barely touch the volume. It's just crazy loud. And these cabinets are, I think they're 200 watts each. So we are good to go, if not more. Yeah, so this is my big spacious Thank you. Please like the videos. I noticed that on a lot of my videos, some have a terribly low view count because I never work at it, and some have decent view counts, and even the one with decent view counts have way too few like hits. And I don't think it's because the people actually don't like the stuff, or it's just because I hate marketing. I hate it. And I hate advertising. I hate commercials. I hate it every time a YouTube channel asks me to like the video and subscribe and hit the notification bell. It's just like we're all robots, and I think it's horrible that everyone is just trying to please the algorithm. I really I hate it that our humanity is suffering, or our personality is suffering for all this machine crap and this. I'm not a big fan of our technology lifestyle. Maybe you can hear that right now, but I mostly like technology from the 80s. That's when I think it was fun with flashy lights and no interaction. I really don't like social media and all that stuff. I kind of use it, but just because everybody else is, but I don't like it. Anyway, find me on social media. No, yeah, this is a crazy long video. So if anyone is still listening, thanks, man. You're the man. And otherwise, I will just do some more videos, different stuff. And if you see something in my videos or that you want to have me elaborate, just write in the comments, and yeah. And because I think I've done so much ambitious videos playing music on my channel, and there are some good stuff coming up as well. A lot of stuff I have to finish, but I'm kind of taking a break from doing those. They take a ridiculous amount of time to make all these music videos where I play most of the instruments and stuff like that. I like it, of course, but I just don't have the time to keep doing that stuff in that manner, because I don't make any money from this. Yeah. Maybe that could change if everyone just liked the videos. Like sometimes I have a video with a view count of 500, for instance, and there's 20 something likes. Would be nice if that was 200 something likes, you know. Anyway, enough of this for now. I'll see you in the next video.